again for tuning in to another episode of Outside the Box. I'm your host, Onney the CEO, and tonight I have an awesome segment for you. I actually have a goddess in the building. So I want you guys to buckle up your seatbelts because you're now plugged in, tuned in, tapped in to Outside the Box. Another week, and I am so glad to have you all back with me to enjoy another segment. Today, I have a guest in the building. Her name is Desiree McKinney. I want you guys to give her a warm round of applause. Hey, girl.
Hey.
So I know who you are, but our viewers might not know who you are. And so I want to give you an opportunity to plug yourself and everything that you do.
Love your voice. Your voice is amazing.
Thank you.
Oh my God, it's so milky. I am Desiree McKinney. I'm a musician. I have been on runways. I have been published in a few magazines, and I've been on a few commercials, on some shows and stuff. I love music. That's my first love. I have a website, DesireeMcKinney.com. There you can purchase merch. I have it's called Follow D's merch, and I have masks and waist beads and music, 2 albums out, 8 music videos, 2 projects coming out, and 2 singles that I'm going to be releasing in 2 music videos.
All that brown girl magic right there. See, that's why I had to have you on the show, because you're so modest and so cool and zen and humble, but you're really just a Renaissance woman. You just do it all.
Thank you.
Yeah, so I'm so proud of you.
Thank you. I'm proud of you too. It's inspiring to see somebody actually like get their space, and and the lighting is so amazing.
Thank you. God. I'm coming for Oprah.
You can tell.
Yeah,
you can tell
I'm
the
coming
vibe.
for her. I'm coming
yes,
for her.
and you just you just have like a halo.
Oh,
yeah.
Thank you. From the goddess herself. Y'all heard what she said.
No.
So I know who you are, and I know what you do. You're a model, a supermodel. You've been published in magazines and everything. So how did you actually get into modeling? I want to cross that bridge first.
Well, I'm very tall. I'm 5'10", almost 5'11", and so I've always been pretty tall. Even when I was born, I think I was like almost 10, 11 inches or something like that. So my mom put me in modeling around the age of 6 because I was starting to form into, when your teeth start coming out and you start looking a little funny looking.
Mm-hmm.
She didn't want me to have a low self-esteem. So she put me in it just to kind of keep my self-esteem up, even though I was changing, and it helped a lot with
shout out to
how
Mom.
I carried myself and how I saw myself. So shout out to Mom.
That is so dope.
Yeah.
So what came first, the modeling or the music? Well, obviously the modeling, because you've been doing this since a kid.
I would say no, only because your parents sing to the belly. They sing, when you come out, they sing you to sleep. Then you hear a million different songs. Like I was in gymnastics and I would hear like pop music, and then I would be in choir and I would hear soulful like gospel music that made you want to cry, and those songs used to hit me hard. Even when I was little, I would be worshiping, like just not even realizing that the music was touching me, so that was something, because that was something that God had given me to do. And then just in the choir, when you sing when you're a kid, your parents forcing you. And then just like in school too, because we had music classes in school. Every school I went to, there was a music class. At St. Mary's in 3rd Ward and St. Francis in 5th Ward, they had music. And then in public school, they had music too. Miss Cope, she introduced me to a few different genres and just kind of different ways of how music is made. One thing, though, Miss Cope did was she did not consider hip-hop a genre. She was a sweet Jewish woman. She was sweet. She was really sweet, but she didn't consider it a genre. Considered it poetry. And so when I was that age, I assumed that that's really what it was because that's what I was taught. And so
to a certain degree, she was kind of right, but it still was a genre.
At that time too, you know. Yeah, but my mom also, like, she wouldn't let me listen to music that had curse words in it. So a lot of the times it was music with no words, classical, jazz, or something like that. So when I was in the car with my dad, that's when I got to hear like Pimp C and Devin the Dude, Scarface, Fat Pat, Big Hawk.
Shout out to all my homies holding it down for the H-Town. Yeah. So that's dope. So that actually probably gave you a lot more diversity when it came to music because you were exposed to so many different genres of music at a young age. Mm-hmm. So I think that kind of like opened up your musical library to be able to create something that is so different. And it kind of like, even in your music that I hear from you now, it's different. It's outside the box. I like it. Yes, I like
and we gotta plug that song Outside the Box too, because when I heard the title, I was just like, wow, that's crazy. It's meant to be.
I know it was meant to be. It was a lot of people don't know. I actually met Desiree on a photo shoot. Shout out to Jeanette Hill, Jeanette's Unique Boutique. She's my stylist.
Yes, Jeanette.
And when I met you, I just knew that you were just somebody, but I did not know to the capacity. I just thought you were just a supermodel that had been published in magazines and everything. And that's good because humility and being humble get you so far. And when I started doing, looking into bringing you on the show and doing my research, Googling, Google is my friend. I was like, wait a minute, girlfriend was on Friday Night Lights and da-da-da-da. So tell me a little bit about that with acting. How did you get into acting?
Okay, so the agency that I was with, Page Parks, when I was a child, they had the chick from Gilmore Girls, the daughter. She had just signed with them and she had got chosen to be on Gilmore Girls. She was from Texas too, from Houston. And I remembered going to the agency and trying to get signed by them and taking the classes and going there super early in the morning every Saturday with my mom. And then once I did get signed with them, I got some work and then we transitioned. My mom started finding like random gigs for me to do, like background work, like extra work. So, and even just down to like holding booms. Like I was 6-7 years old holding booms for adults. Like I was tall, for adults in film and stuff like that. And it just, as time progressed, I started to be more comfortable in front of the camera. And then I started to do this little talk show we had in middle school. And we would kind of give the weather and the announcements and all that stuff. And then I started doing acting classes. And then I did an extra gig and I was on the field. And I remember this woman came up to me because they kept having us cheer and like pretend like we were excited. And a lot of the kids started getting tired, but the kids were the important part of the show for Friday Night Lights. So they panned on me, it seemed like, the most during that scene. And it was just because of the energy I had. I was jumping up and down, like really acting like I was excited because I was just happy to not be in school. So I wanted to make sure I did a good job because mom took me out of school for that. And they paid their extras pretty well. So we got a little hotel and I was an extra until they didn't want me to be one anymore. And then once they were watching me, and so when I turned 18, they went ahead and let me audition.
All right.
Yeah, and I got signed with her.
And you were able to continue that movement with that.
Yeah.
Now, you've also worked on a few other shows. Matter of fact, I also saw that we both, Small World was in A Gangland Love Story.
Yeah.
Greg Carter.
Shout out to Greg.
Yeah. Greg. Shout out to Greg. What's up, cuzzo? What's up? And Reagan Gomez and AJ Lamas.
Yeah.
And I was a Small World because I don't really remember you. I guess the cast was so huge.
Yeah.
And I was only in there to do I played myself.
I was a baby.
Movie. And I wrote the poetry for Reagan Gomez, AJ Lamas, and the poetry that I recited. And I think like 2 of my songs was on that soundtrack.
I remember Trey was in it. And
Yeah.
I remember seeing Trey and doing, I'm a mother. Dun, 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 I'm a
You can say it.
and he was laughing because my mom was like right next to me too. I did not care. Like,
Yeah, you was so
I wanted
excited.
him to know I knew that whole song.
song.
And he had a dude with him that looked like Eminem. And
Mhm.
so, my bold butt, I'm like, oh, you look like Eminem. Ha ha ha. So I started rapping Eminem in front of them. I made them laugh like the whole time because, it's a lot of waiting around during shooting.
Oh man, yes.
They were cool. They were sweet. I was 15.
I enjoyed being on the set. That was like I think that was like the third movie I had ever done. And the second movie I actually played myself in. So it was pretty cool when you could play yourself in a movie. Like, oh, that's Onney. That's Onney in the
that's
movie.
fire.
Yeah, that was
That's
cool.
fire.
That was cool.
Greg is always good about that though.
Yeah.
Like making sure that we get our shine in Houston.
Oh yeah,
what,
he's
like-
putting on for Houston, especially with the Fifth Ward and all that. He's doing really good with that.
Yeah, I'm in Fifth Ward too, and I play myself in Fifth Ward. I also have a single that's in the first season, and then I have a single in the next season. The second one is Before I. The first one is Higher.
Oh, dope. So we on soundtracks too.
Yeah.
Shout out.
You too. You
Shout
too.
out. Yes, we are.
Yes.
Getting it. So, but some may know you as an actress. Some may know you as a model, but you actually do music. Like you said, you have 8 videos out,
God, yeah.
and you have several songs that are out. You producing more music as we go, as you're growing. I love that, growing and glowing. I actually have a video of yours called "The Now" that I want to share. You don't mind, do you?
Of course not.
All right. Well, we want our viewers to check into the now. It's real. God, it's like tune in.
It's the spirit of the night. It's the wind on my skin. It's the way the wind blows. It's the power from within. What you coming for? You think I'ma let you in? It's the spirit of the night. It's the wind on my skin. This music hypnotized me. It took me to a place where more blossoms rising, amusing to the people, to others arousing. The gangsters find my loyalty in legs closed, astounding, reminiscing on the horizon. It's the spirit of the night. It's the wind on my skin. It's the way the wind blows. It's the power from within. What you coming for? You think I'ma let you in? It's the spirit of the night. Tryna do right, skip papers in school to write. Then my whole life get back to like Houston. Tight. All powers to the muscle that fuel our pain and pain. Put my insides on paper. Oh Lord, just pimp my pen. Pimp C said it best, he had the laser vision. Snakes all around me, I'm gon' keep on pounding. Man, I go hard and I'm Houston and I'm bounded. Putting melanin in your ear. Southern honey belligerent biscuits. Yum, yum, strong. In the clouds for real. Preparing for my death like my last day. I need it's the that make that clear. Ain't no God around. False gods. Oh man. It's the spirit of the night.
Now that's a dope video. How did you come up with the concept for that?
I had a dream about a camel. And then Miss Darlette, she's been teaching me my whole life growing up, just dance and little stuff here and there as I got older. And so it was her idea to put the choreography together for the kids and the adults during the music video too. And she did some other videos for me.
What's her name again?
Darlette Johnson Bailey. She taught Beyonce growing up.
Okay. Shout out to Miss Bailey.
Yeah.
Did you record that
I
video?
love
in
animals.
Houston?
Yes.
How did you get the camel, girl? I want the camel.
It's Violet Grace, a guy, girl. I found a company, and apparently 2 Chainz and Nick Cannon rode the same camel, but they rented him first. His name was Barry, and you can rent him too from the company. I'll give you the name of him.
Okay.
I gotta look for it. But
I need him for a photo shoot.
Definitely.
Shout out to Barry, the
Yeah,
camel.
Mr. Barry. He lets you hug his neck too. I hugged his little neck, and he like didn't freak out. You can tell he's used to like
People.
Yeah. He's so
We're such
sweet.
animal
I
lovers, I can tell.
love Barry.
Yeah.
Yes, we are.
So moving right along on your musical journey, because you started. I think you were just born into music, and you started out acting, modeling, acting, music. Where were you when you decided to create your own music?
I'm gonna be completely honest with you. I had an interesting childhood growing up, and to cope with a lot of the traumatic things that happened, I used to kind of write songs, or I would sing to myself to make myself feel better. Oh my God. And that's just how I started writing music.
That's dope. Some of the best music come from those places, you know, because people can relate to them. I mean, that's right. Some of the greats. I mean, Lauryn Hill, if she never come out with another song, you're going to feel that. I don't know. I just picked up on all your energy. My eyes just start watering. My eyes start watering at that. So when you decided to venture off and do your music. All right, so I guess she had to bring herself back down from that moment. Music has a tendency to do that to us. So I'm going to keep the show going while we wait on her to return after watching that video. Are you ready, ma'am?
Yes, I am.
Because we do no cuts, no takes. We keep it going here. You good?
Good.
Awesome. So once you started doing your music, what made you want to produce it and put it out to the people for them to be able to hear your work?
When I first started, it was for fame. To be completely honest with you, I wanted to prove people wrong. I got bullied in school, so I thought that I had to make sure I showed everybody who I was. And I had a crush on this guy in middle school, and he moved away, and so I was like, I'm gonna become famous or like, Oprah or something, and like the guy oh no
well, no, that's you.
It was crazy. Yeah, just dumb reasons, money, power. And then stuff started getting real. Like my mom got sick, I was on probation, and I felt like there was no way to kind of take care of myself without, because it's on your record, and it's like the way that they have that set up is just so janky. Like it's all set up for us to go to jail, and I didn't want to go to jail, and I had to make sure I gave them their thousands and thousands of dollars every month, and but have a steady job, but then have that on your record. So it's just like, how you do that?
Yeah.
So mom in the hospital, the Bible fell open. I wasn't even near the Bible, but it fell open, and it was kind of God speaking to Moses, Numbers 33, telling him to go demolish all false images and false idols, things that are not of God, and dwell in the land. Basically, God giving Moses the land to possess, to take over, and take over for his people and his tribe. And so in my head, I was Moses. I was going to be the female Moses, and I didn't learn about Deborah in the Bible. I don't want to preach, but Deborah is basically the female Moses, and she wrote songs. And so I didn't find out about her until later as I continued to read. I'm finished with it now. I finished in December. And what's going on right now is really similar to the end. You should read the end of the Bible. Everybody should.
Yeah. The plague,
Yeah. But long story short, just what were we talking about again?
We were talking about your music, like what
So
inspired you to step out? Because I see
that made me conscious. That made me more conscious of myself, and just what I ate. It all the way down to like what Moses ate. I was trying to do like the same exact things. When he fasted, I fasted. When he ate certain things, I ate those things. When he prayed, I prayed. And I just took little pieces at a time. Like I would read one line, and if I didn't understand a word, look it up, and I would read the same line again. But I just made sure I did a little bit every morning, every night, and it helped me with my writing. And I wrote one song every day for a year straight. And sometimes supernatural things would happen to me, and so I would write more than one song.
Oh, that's dope.
Yeah.
You're so creative.
Girl.
And to be able to find an outlet to tap in at, I think that's awesome.
And everybody can, especially if you stop eating meat just for a little bit, even if it's like a week or two.
I can't really do meat anymore. I stopped eating meat, lost 20 pounds.
That's how we bonded too. That was another reason we got excited.
Yeah, like, yeah.
Oh my God.
Right?
Jeanette was so funny. She was tired of we vibed
too much, too good. We got another shoot coming soon. We have to do another one.
Yes, definitely.
So now that you've stepped out into music, when you decided to step out of music and be your own light and walk your path, how did it change like the course of your relationships, your decisions, your friendships?
Well, praise be to God that in middle school I learned not to tell people that I modeled and acted because of the bullying. I ended up having to get homeschooled. So once I got to high school, nobody knew from my mouth what I was doing. If they found out, it was basically because they saw it or something like that. But I stayed to myself. I was kind of like a dark kid in high school. I didn't really talk to many people. I only had a select few friends. They told me I was popular later, but I don't feel like I was. Like I was a sad kid. So I went to school, I hated school, and I barely was there. When I wasn't there, I was happy, like because I got to do some pictures or be in something or shoot something, and it just kind of gave me my happy
life of a superstar behind the camera.
Girl, stop.
Now,
I love it.
What advice could you give young brown-skinned girls like yourself that want to cultivate their self-esteem and push themselves to greatness? What advice could you? I see that you had to kind of like pull yourself up by the bootstraps, and I commend you for that.
Thank you.
So many.
You too.
Thank you.
I peep game.
Yeah. So many of us go through things, and we allow what we go through to change the trajectory of our future. But you took those lemons that you were given and you made lemonade. And so I want to know what advice can you give another brown-skinned girl like us to be able to make that lemonade?
Okay. So, little brown-skinned girl, make sure that when you're making your lemonade that your lemons are ripe. Not ripe. Is it ripe or not ripe?
I think
it's
ripe.
ripe. Yeah, make sure your lemons are ripe. That means you keep your legs closed, baby. And that's something that I didn't really have to like stress over too much. That was instilled in me more than anything.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, I would say make sure that you love yourself. As corny as it sounds, bro, because I know people say it like corny, but I say bro too. It's a Mo City thing, but like I'm talking to you, daughter.
Mo City where the girls be pretty. No, I'm just
Yeah.
saying.
Hey, Mo City with a girl so pretty.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I feel like it's important to love yourself. Little stuff like doing your hair, doing your nails, like looking in the mirror, telling yourself
I was just gonna
that
say
you're
mirror
beautiful,
exercises.
or
I'm
that
40
you'll be
years old, and
successful.
I
just talked
still
to your son about that.
I still do mirror exercises
Yes.
because sometimes I have to remind myself that you cannot quit on yourself.
Girl, I was telling him, he was talking about how he loves basketball, right?
Mm-hmm.
So I'm like, he was like, but I'm only 5'10" or whatever. I was like, have you heard of Studemore? Isn't that how you say his name? From
I
the
don't know.
Raptors?
Yeah.
Bro, I just had his jersey on yesterday. I'm like, fam, you can still be the best basketball player ever. Like he was, and I was like, look him up. So he looked him up, 5'10",
Yeah.
same height.
Yeah.
He
See?
was like, oh.
All it takes, that's why it's so important to surround yourself with winners,
Mm-hmm.
with people that you can eat with and not compete with,
Mm.
because then they won't dim your light or try to, and they can
Yeah.
cultivate your visions and your dreams and push you
Mhm.
further into your purpose.
Mhm.
And so that is so dope.
Yeah, read books.
All of that stuff.
Just anything that can, wash your hair. I still am a tomboy at heart, but I feel like little girls, sometimes when they're abused or if they go through certain things, we always turn to like baggy clothes and just kind of like try to be unattractive to people, or we feel unattractive, and so
I
even
went
if
through a
we
tomboy
dress up, we
stage.
come off unattractive.
Yeah.
Or if you get it.
Yeah, I
or
get it.
or the too much.
Yeah.
The too much makeup phase where you're not wearing nothing and you got too much makeup. You don't have to do that. And so I feel like little girls need to know that they're beautiful, and you can always reach out to me, send me a DM. You can call the number that I have on my Instagram page if you need somebody to talk to, if you're feeling down or if you feel like you're going through something. I never want a child or a little girl to feel like they're not loved or like they're alone in
That
something.
is so dope that you would even offer that. Speaking
Yeah.
of your Instagram, you actually have a website. So if someone want to book you, find out more about you.
Yeah.
And that is DesireeMcKinney.com.
Yeah.
So they
all
can
that's on
actually
there,
go
everything.
and stay up to date and check out your videos and everything else you have going.
Yeah.
And then you have an Instagram page as well where folks can go like, follow, stay up to date on what you have going. You see it there. Yeah, Desiree McKinney Official.
I
You
try to
guys
post
make
daily.
sure you go like and follow a few pictures on there.
I actually just got chosen to shout out to Derek McKinney. He has the same last name as me, which is crazy, but we're not related, I don't think, unless it's like some ancestry stuff.
Okay.
But I was chosen to be in Loudfest. It's September 4th and the 5th in Houston, Texas. It's supposed to be this huge festival with indie artists. So I feel like everybody should come out and support all our independent artists. People are gonna fly here for it, and it's gonna be posted on my page. It's in my story right now.
All right. Well, that's dope. Well, I want to thank you for coming out and sharing your energy with me. I want to remind our viewers to be sure to check us out on all platforms. You can like us, subscribe, follow us. We're on Google Play, Google Podcasts, iHeartRadio, iTunes, YouTube, SoundCloud, Spotify, Spreaker, and Stitcher. Tell a friend to like, subscribe, follow. You can also find us on Facebook Live under Onney the CEO. Make sure you subscribe to that page as well. I'll be back next week with another segment, and you are now outside the box.
Go girl.